flip if it's fraction to fraction, but if it's just a number to that, you also do the exact same thing. So if we're looking at the first example, this is only going into multiplying fractions. So example 1 is all about multiplying. When you're multiplying, you multiply across for the numerator, across for the denominator, and then you see if it can simplify. The directions say perform each operation, reduce each fraction, if possible. Sometimes you don't have to reduce, but you always have to check. Do not write your answers as mixed numbers. Do not write them as decimals. Thank you, sir. I'm sorry that y'all didn't have it. I thought that y'all did. Well, you got it now, so that's a plus. So, looking at this, I have 1/3 times 3 over 7, okay? So I'm going to multiply across. What is 1 times 3?
30.
What is 3 times 7?
21.
Is 3 and 21, do they have a common factor? Of what? 3. So I need to divide both by 3, right? What's 3 divided by 3? What is 21 divided by 3? That's the final answer. I told you it's the same thing, right? But this is easier than the last page because all you do is multiply across, simplify if possible, right? So we should like this one. Looking at this one, multiplying across, what's 3 times 1? What is 3 times 10? Is there a common factor between 3 and 30? 3, right? So what's 3 divided by 3? What is 30 divided by 3? That's the answer. Everybody good so far? Use your calculator to your advantage, okay? Looking at this one, this is what you're going to start seeing change. This right here. That dot means multiplying. You saw me already using it on the last page. We're not going to be using the x's anymore because we're going to be using x as an actual variable. So that's going to be a big change for some people who are used to seeing it all the time, okay? The dot is going to be in that place or parentheses. I'm going to help you through that. So, what's 7 times 2? 14. What's 10 times 3? Is there a common factor between 14 and 30? 2, because they're both even, are they not? So, what is 14 divided by 2? What is 30 divided by 2? Is there any more common terms between 7 and 15? No, because 7's prime, so there's nothing more I can do there. Any questions? Looking at D, 9 times 3? 20 what? Perfect. 4 times 10? Is there a common factor between 27 and 40? Because the only factors of 27 are 1 and 27 and 9 and 3, right? So that's not an even number, so I can't use 2 in this case. That's my answer. Hello, you're good. Just leave it cracked next time. That way you don't get closed out. Any questions on multiplying? Do we feel good? Does it make sense? Do you see how the last lesson in reduction comes into this one? Everybody good? Jordan, you've got to lean up, baby, and pay attention. Okay?
I didn't see that.
Honey, but the thing is, when you're doing this, you're not going to pay attention. Sit up, lean up. You realize this is being recorded. This will be uploaded. So when parents go back and watch this video, they will know if I called your name multiple times. So am I leaving a paper trail for you to be able to be caught in lies? I do not edit these. Y'all can say hello, future yous.
Attention freshmen, if your last name starts with T through Z, please make your way to the multi-purpose room for your laptop distribution. Freshman, last name T through Z.
You know where the multi-purpose room is? Go, you know where the commons are, where the library and the cafeteria split into that hallway to go to the gym? Go down that hallway, look to your left. It's going to be right there. Any questions on multiplying? Dividing. When dividing, you need to keep, change, flip. That's what KFC is, okay? So, I like to flip number 2 and number 3, but it still works the exact same way. And then you keep the first fraction, you leave it alone. Don't change it. Flip the second fraction, so the bottom is now the top and the top is now the bottom, and then you change the division sign to multiplication. That's what that means. Any questions there? From there, you go back up here. Multiply across, simplify. Okay? So, let's look. The directions are the same. Reduce if possible. Do not write as mixed numbers or decimals. So, it'd be 1 over 3. That would stay the same because that's the first fraction. We read from left to right. So, it'd be 1 over 3. What does 3 over 7 change into? 3 over 7, what does it change into? 7 over 3. And then division changes into? There we go. So what's 1 times 7? What is 3 times 3? Are there any common factors between 7 and 9? Nope. That's the answer. Everybody good? Making sense? So 1 over 3 stays the same. What happens to 3 over 10? And then division changes into? So what would be my fraction here? 10 over 9. Are there any common factors between 10 and 9? Not other than 1, so that's it. Any questions? Okay, we good? Looking at C. How do I rewrite this when you tell me? There we go. So what would be my fraction there? Is there any factors between 21 and 20? Other than 1? Nope. That's the answer. And finally, letter D. Someone help Kingston out. Uh-huh.
36 over 30.
Is there a common factor between 36 and 30?
Yes.
What's the greatest one? 6. Because there's something greater than 2, right? Because even 3 would work in this case, but it's the greatest common factor, so it has to be 6 because we end up getting a 5, right? We can't simplify 5 anymore. So let's divide this whole thing by 6. What's 36 divided by 6? 30 divided by 6. Is there any factors between 6 and 5? That's the answer. How are we feeling? We feeling better about this one? All right, let's get a daily grade out of the way. You do for me. Do 1, 3, 5, and 7. Okay? 1, 3, 5, 7. It's the exact same thing that we just did. So the top 2 are what operation? Multiplication. The last 2 that I gave you are what? Division, right? Follow the exact steps. I got your timer going so you know when to come up here, okay? When you finish it, bring it to me so I can grade it and put it in there. Sir? Not during your daily grade. Get it done, please. You have to look at factors between 3 and 21. So you need to look at what multiplies to get 3, what multiplies to get 21, and which one's the greatest between the 2. Kylan, you can also reference back to the notes from yesterday because it's more in detail. It was that very first example.